Balthazar, and I want to talk about American gun culture and the causes of American mass shootings. Uh, First of all, I want to talk about this article that I read called Warning. And instead of the normal article about school shooting that tells the casualties, how it happened, who did it, and so on, this goes behind what happened before the school shooting and why he did it. What signs were there up to the school shooting that he would do it? And some of the main points is that there was a lot of signs. Like he actually said he was going to do a school shooting 3 or 4 weeks before he actually did it. He joined a gang. He was abused at home, so there was a lot of signs, and they have been some of the main causes that he did it. But if you look at what most Americans believe, or maybe not most, but a lot of Americans believe, then some of the more popular ones are video games and movies that are violent because people think that they will just adapt that behavior that they watch in the movie or in the game. So a lot of people think that those are the main reasons that people get violent, but I don't think that's the case because a lot of other countries have also have almost every other country also have violent video games and movies, and I don't think that's the problem. Also in the future, some people have guessed that the causes will be blamed on something like violent comic books or violent TV shows. That might be a lot like movies, but the statistics says that some of the places that has the most violent, most awkward TV shows, Japan, they have a lot of violent video games. They release a lot of them themselves, so they have a lot of them, but they have one of the lowest death by gun rates per kill in the country, and so I don't think that can be blamed on it. I think one of the reasons is that they actually are allowed to have guns. Like Japan, yeah, sure, you can say it's because they don't have guns, but you can look at Canada too, and then some lot lower too. But they're allowed to have guns because they think they have to protect themselves from outsiders like terrorists, or if they ever get into war, they want to be able to help, maybe a bear or something. But the truth is that most of the time they have to be scared and have to be cautious about those who they have neglected in their own country. Like most of the mass shootings are actually by Americans themselves. Like they don't have to worry so much about the outsiders; they have to worry about the insiders. Not like, we have to kill everybody who seems mentally unstable. I'm not saying that because that's not the fact. The fact is that they have to take better care of the mentally unstable, and then they can look at all these signs that the warning article also pointed out. And just the other day, there was a guy who shot 2 people in a car on a highway, and then he just ran away. So he's being chased down right now, but he wasn't an outsider. He was someone from America with a gun. He had a gun in his car because, I have to be able to protect myself if I get attacked by terrorists or if the country is in danger. I have to be able to help. But yeah, sure, you can also say it's against thieves, but the thieves won't have guns if you don't, because then it would be illegal for everybody. But there's also been stories about guys who just drove around the streets and just shot random people. There was no connection between them, and they just shot them. I can't remember when, but one time 8 people died because 2 guys wanted to drive around and shoot people. And the signs are, as the warning article says, like some people like to talk about it before they do it. Other people feel bad as it doesn't feel well in school, or they generally do a lot of research on guns first. Like if they watch videos on how to use a gun, you should probably ask them, are they okay? Do they need help? Because some of the signs can be that they are learning a lot about guns, so think that guns are cool, and then the fact that they're getting bullied or abused at home. psychologist says that the concluding data that causes is something like video games is about the as conclusive as dogs preventing suicide. So I think if the psychologists could just get to talk to the people that are causing these mass shootings before it happened, they might be able to help. So if they feel bad, they should just go to a psychologist. And I know that's expensive for them, but that could actually help. Also, there's a psychological term called Call of the Void. It's that weird thought you've probably had yourself, where what would happen if I drove off this cliff, or if I went over and hit that man? And it just seems that they don't have a stop barrier. They just think, what would happen if I shot that man? What would happen if I brought a gun to school and began shooting everybody? It seems like they think about it and then they're like, I'm gonna try it out. Instead of, like, they don't have the impact analysis or feasibility to comprehend what will happen afterwards they do that. A video I linked to is actually some guys who just shot in the middle of the street and then they began laughing. They don't really seem to know what they're doing. They're just like, oh my god, they're actually gonna call the cops. Like, is that a surprise? You took a gun and shot 4 or 5 bullets into the middle of a crowded street, and then you just went inside again. You had no reason to do it. I don't think they were getting bullied or anything. Just like, what would happen if I did that? The Call of the Void. They don't seem to have a stop barrier. And therefore I think a lot of the prevention should happen already in the early ages of their lives. Like in school, talk about that, hey, you can also always come to your teachers to talk, or we will try and stop bullying, but I don't think they are doing enough about that at the moment. So I hope that changes in the future.